Well, now, before we go, let's return now to Egypt, to Nasser Square, where we're joined by Gehad El Haddad. He's a spokesman for the Muslim Brotherhood. And Gehad El Haddad, things have consolidated tonight to some extent, with the Salafists agreeing to go into supporting the new government, and it leaves the Brotherhood with this very big decision. Are you going to join the effort to rebuild Egypt, or are you going to reject it?
For some reason, everyone seems to have closed the first chapter and is insisting that we join the second chapter. You can't build a building without a foundation. You can't build a nation without constitutional legitimacy. A military coup happened here. Why is everyone brushing it so easily, and it's in the 21st century? Is that not democracy that the West is built on? Is it not the values of democracy and the governance of a democratic system that can govern the differences of different human beings? Or are we agreeing to military coups now in the 21st century?
The difficulty is, Gehad, that, as you know very well, that in the history of the West, democracy was built on the backs of terrible bloodletting. And that, of course, is what everybody fears in Egypt right now. And isn't it now incumbent, irrespective of the whatever disagreements that have occurred around the coup, to pull together somehow to prevent civil war?
I'm sorry, there's no such thing as civil war here. There is a democratic process that was underway, and then the military stepped in from its barracks into the political scene, ousted a democratically elected president, the first Egypt has ever had, and sided with one faction. This is the army that is paid for by the Egyptian taxpayers. It has no right to play politics or to intermediate. And how come the world leaders are still too stuck on not using the word coup? It's military junta on TV, political arrests on the streets, killing of protesters that are against the coup, shutting down media channels that are criticizing the coup. This has every ingredient of a full military coup, and still we are seeing the same level of hypocrisy from Western leaders that used to come when Mubarak was governing Egypt.
Well,
and yet they apologized for it afterwards, and they said, sorry, we messed it up for 30 years.
So, Gehad, where do we go from here? You have a huge turnout of people still in the square behind you. You obviously have great support in the country, but where do you go from here and yet avoid bloodshed?
Let me be very frank on two things. The first thing is we will never take violence as a means of expression. We never retaliate in violence. The violence cycle needs two counterparts to retaliate. We've decided to be the punching bag of that cycle to end it. If that means our blood will be spilled trying to defend our nation by standing in front of army bullets, then perhaps the spilling of our blood will help wake the conscience of this nation. The second point is that we are ready to make every concession, including the president stepping down, but it has to be through democratic processes. The president has to be reinstated, and then negotiations can embark on him.
Gehad.
All these protesters that went to the street can go into parliamentary elections and can oust him if they want.
Right. Gehad, thank you very, very much indeed. Gehad El Haddad, spokesman for Muslim Brotherhood.